Alright. Cool. We had a slight technical difficulty, but we are there now. Sorry to all of you who got stuck with the initial notification. Now, now getting it twice. This is going to be a relatively short stream. Got up early, still managed to get hung up on a few things, so going live now, and probably gonna keep it to about an hour. Gonna try getting out and see if I can't get some of those Applin to show up, because they are not showing up anywhere I've been since it started yesterday. So I don't know if at this point it really is just required that you've got to use the mossy lure to make it happen, but that's what we're going to try and do. I have not been on in a very long time, so just got to see what we've got going on here. The goal today pretty much is just to find as much of the Zonai material as we can. I want to see how ready we can be for the update for the Switch 2. I will be definitely on a bit of a learning curve because I have not played in so long. I don't miss the A and B swap. There we go. I'll get it right just in time to end the stream, I'm sure. So who's a Samsung user that had their phones update recently? Oh, that's been a fun thing all on its own. There we go. Could not remember how to draw a weapon. Oops. Oh, because I got a two-handed. Yeah, just watch me flub around because I've forgotten everything about playing this game. Is that one-handed? Oh, damn you. There we go. Oop. Didn't mean to do that. Of course it is. Oh. Why not? So, like, one thing I've noticed from going back to Wuthering Waves is just the God, not having to worry about your loot falling off into oblivion. That it automatically goes into your inventory, and as tactile as this is, and it, you know, feels, you know, more real. I'm like, I kind of have to agree with their idea of just put it, what you've earned, in your inventory. Do not allow it to go missing. Like, I don't like the idea that my spoils can end up at the bottom of a cliff. I've earned them. I would very much like to keep them. I've been trying to hold out for for the Switch 2's re-release of it before coming back and playing, because I've been wanting to play it ever since, you know, I saw that it's getting an update. So it kind of is this circular logic there. But given that with the Switch 2's iteration of it that you get to download other people's designs you're going to want more than just, all the random bits and bobs. You're probably going to want to use your zonite. And I haven't finished maxing out my batteries, so I don't really want to use my zonite for that. So I figured it was time to try and max out the batteries, relearn the controls. Aha, alright. Okay. Jump is not where I think jump should be. Jump should be B, not not Y. That's what I get for playing so much Genshin. I feel like this is more entertaining. um, Did not expect that to be empty when I haven't played in months. But I'm like, I really thought there was going to be DLC where, or even before, like, beating Ganon, I thought when you beat Ganon, like, the weapons would all get restored, or there'd be a way to restore them. And then when that didn't happen, that's when I was like, okay, so maybe that'll be DLC. There'll be a way to get them that way. And then they announced they weren't gonna do DLC. That's just, why? They never reduced the cost of anything. You're paying for this upgrade for, oh, that's what I should be using, so I'm not wasting weaponry. I should be using Yunobo. But yeah, I'm like, so even with the re-release of it and Breath of the Wild, Breath of the Wild's not included. The DLC is not included with the price of the increased price of the deluxe version, or the Switch 2 version. Which that just seems kind of wild to me. But I did it again. I'm like, that game has been out since the Switch launch, so what? What's it been, like 8 years? So I mean, they're insistent that they make every last dollar back on and more on anything they do. So I just don't get why if they're not going to reduce the cost of the DLC for the base game, why wouldn't you invest the money in kind of finishing off and polishing off some of the rough edges of Tears of the Kingdom? You know, people will buy it, and you know you're going to maintain that price. So throughout the lifetime of the game, you're going to make that back and more. You know, if we're obsessed with these two games, and they know it, like they could do very little, and we'd still buy it. And I'm like, and like I said, all I want is just a small story so that we're no longer playing with destroyed weaponry or rusted weaponry. Really, bud? you, you only took out one? That's better. You're the biggest bowling ball we've ever seen, and you suck at it. Really? Really? Like, I get he didn't hit it head on, but it's like saying, you know, well, the bomb was on the, you know, supporting wall, so it didn't take the building down. I'm like, it's still a bomb. God, all this like carryover from other games. I haven't played the Switch in a while. It's just none of the buttons do what I think they should. It's like, I think any of the mines are good to go, which might be why I didn't mark them off, because it should have been fairly obvious that they'll have a lot. So I'm just hitting up all the ones I've marked first. Let's see, what have I got for food? Because he's not... he's not doing so hot. I do wish the meals were stackable. Like, I get that they're not all exactly the same, but... barely stepped in it. Also, again, that's, you know, like saying you barely stepped in dog crap, so... fine, sue me. It's just really flippin' annoying. Bastards. Seriously? Well, and like, um, you had like the Master Sword trials in the first game as the DLC, so you could get the full power 100% of the time out of the Master Sword. Um, and that's just not an option in this game, which is kind of irritating too. And I love this game. I really do. I love the amount of customization, the amount of outfits. The it's really not fair. The people that try to call this, well, it's they just charged us for a full game again when it's clearly just DLC. It's clearly just DLC. Really. Um, yeah, I don't know what games you've played before, but two giant maps, one of which is just as big as the original game's one map. Uh, that's that's not DLC. And if it was, let's say it was. Let's say you could pay to have Tears of the Kingdom as DLC for Breath of the Wild. They would still charge you $60 for it. They're not. It wasn't going to be like another $20 add-on. It was going to be the price of a full game because that's how much content's in it. So I'm like, if you're annoyed that you can't just hit the ground running from the first game, that's one thing. But if you're arguing for the sake of cost, you're not good at math. And I'm not a Nintendo kiss butt or anything like that. Um, I don't like a lot of stuff that they've done. I don't like the fact that they sue over the smallest infraction. Um, that they have this obsessiveness about, well, these are our games and no one else should profit off them. I'm like, okay. As long as you are still profiting off of them, that's fine. If you're in a position where you can continue to make money off of them, that's great. If they are not available from you for sale directly, why would you pursue litigation for someone pirating them? Well, we're losing money every time someone pirates. No. No, you're not. Um, um, you're you're not going to get that money because you're not selling the product anymore. You can't lose sales that you're not working towards. Um, if um, it's like trying to think of something in a physical sense that this would apply to. Um, but I'm like, if they applied the same idealism towards um, like resellers, well, we didn't make money off of that sale. Well, yeah, you weren't the one selling it. I paid for it. It's mine now. I sold it to someone else. I get the money for it. Um, I really am just wandering in circles. I am useless without... Oh, right. I'm like, I've forgotten about a whole other thing here. I can... Son of a biscuit. That's better. But yeah, if I'm not, I'm not selling a bike and someone else gets one somehow, like they 3D print my design of a bike, but it's a design I'm no longer selling, I don't get to say they stole my bike. If it's not an actively used design, I don't get to get upset that someone made one on their own. Now, if it's a 3D printed version of a bike I'm still selling, it's still on the market, and it's not artificially raised up by being out of print, then I can get upset that someone is 3D printing and they've stolen my design of a bike. But if I'm not selling, they can't buy something I'm not selling. At the end of the day, and for a long time this happened a lot with like Digimon. I'm like, fans had to translate games, and they're scared to death of the Millennium Copyright Act. And so they're like, well, we can't make the game available, but this is our patch for it, which is okay because it's covered under modding. All right. But if they're not if the company themselves didn't translate it and are refusing to sell it in my region, why the heck should they sue you and you're not making any money off of it? You've provided this for free. There's no reason for them to sue you or pursue litigation against you because they didn't lose any money. We were not gonna, the rest of the fan base wasn't gonna all learn Japanese and then import the game from a company that didn't want our money to begin with. So they didn't lose any money because they weren't selling anything to this market. So I'm like, at the end of the day, the point is, if you're not selling something and I find a way to get it, you no one stole from you. And I don't mean like a bank robbery. Like, they wouldn't sell me their diamond ring, so I went and took it. And I'm like, that's not what's happened here. I kind of feel like modern day piracy is, as long as it's, again, as long as it's not available. I feel like modern day piracy in that sense, like if you're, old games that are no longer on the market, stuff like that. Um, that's just more of like, kind of like the old days pirate radio. The UK banned rock music, so people went offshore and shoved it over the airways anyway. And I'm like, if you're going to refuse to give us a product, or in this case, refuse to allow us to have one, we'll provide it ourselves. Now, like, I typically haven't had the components, especially with like cartridge-based games, to pull the game off and all that crap. So like, I've always had to find someone else who's already patched it and download the full thing, which, well, that's not okay. Da 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 da. And I'm like, I get it, but I also will own the game. Uh, I always buy a physical copy um, of a game that's been patched, because I don't want to get crap either, and I'm a collector. I would have bought the whole thing, collector's edition and all, for anything Digimon if they ever did stuff like that, because I'm a fan and I want to support it. But if you're not supporting me supporting you, I'm going to find a way to get it. I've found a couple of manga series that I really like. Um, I will buy them all. But if the fan has translated them and it's not available in my area yet, I'm going to find a way to read it. And that's fine. Good translations take time. And once it is available in my area, I'm going to buy it. I don't want that hole on my shelf, and I will probably read it again because it's done by someone who's a professional. That's just how it is. That being said, I'm like, I almost wish some Digimon games got translated again just by fans. Just because sometimes the stuff we've gotten in the US is dog crap in comparison to what a fan translated. And like, in that case, it's less of an issue. I'm like, if the fan goes back and fixes it, I'll download it as a mod. Oh, that's cool. It lit up like it was Flint. Say no to drugs, kids. Alright. Well, this will potentially be a problem no matter what, because, is that the one I just blew up, though? I think it might have been. I should have been paying better attention. But yeah, even if it's been, I played it yesterday, the mental reset when everyone else has the confirm button as the bottom button, the X or A button, depending on Xbox or... Yeah, I think that must have been it. So my thing's not reacting. I don't know why Nintendo decided to be special. I know in Japan for a long time, before the PS5, the X and O had different purposes. So yeah, it looks like when I've done this before, I just marked off the mines that either weren't labeled mines or weren't right next to a teleportation zone. This is probably why I marked this one, because it's so... I guess it's equidistance away. I'm just going to do this. Like, I could make a hot air balloon, I'm sure. But if you haven't been able to tell, apparently I'm pretty tired. Getting one of those spring sinus pressure zonks. Getting a touch better with the flight controls, so that's good. Come on, you stupid lizard. course it has. Like, did that kill him? Where the fuck did he go? Like, where were these guys? Why weren't they backing the last guy up? No honor amongst monsters, I guess. Yeah, they know. You're tardy the party guy. Did we do it? Nope. Well, and I love and hate the versatility too, because it's just like, what am I okay with losing? I don't show off me playing games because I'm good, let's just remember that. I show off me playing games because I like to have fun. Just make that clear. Yeah. Are we done now? My god. But yeah, we've been getting lots of storms. We're supposed to get one, God, potentially horrific one Monday night. So I'm gonna blame that on my little sinus crap outs here. Alright, just making sure we cleaned everything up, because that was a pretty hefty nest there. Oh shoot. I don't think treasure chests don't just randomly replenish down here, do they? So that's a nest of creatures I've never popped in and broken up before. Yeah, you can do it, my sexy Link. I'll get my eye in eventually. Sidon, why? Just why? No. See, I think there's been times where I just turn off Tulin there, just because he's more of a problem than he's worth. You're right. Yeah. Haven't seen you so excited to see me, baby. I think I might have, just to avoid problems in the past, have been using the Master Sword, because... yeah, it doesn't take that many hits. And you don't have to worry about replacing it, you just lose it for a few moments. I might have to look if you can customize buttons. I just need to get it to play like everything else I've been playing. So confusing trying to play the Switch after playing nothing but PlayStation, PC, Xbox controls. But yeah, if you're lucky enough to see that, I've never had my cat climb up my chest like that before. It's like when you first found the mines and it was just a wall of the stuff. That was a lot easier to use Yunobo here. Alright, so I think I've got one more marked off on the map here. And I hate trying to do this one because... there's nothing quite close to it. It's like it's got a drop-in hole there, but that's not any better. I guess we'll do this. Again, A and B. No, because that's deep and you end up wall climbing. Alright, I guess we'll take it this way. And well, there's some low-hanging fruit. I was gonna say, I'm like, there's gotta be some here too. I'll have to mark that. But I'm like, the upgrade cost for a lot of this is just so flippin' ridiculous. Like, it'd be one thing if these caverns like refilled to the same point they were when you first discover them, but they don't. Guess we still ended up with a fair bit of wall climbing. Oop. Master Sword, you can mine with it, you can't break rock armor. Got it. There's always that option too. Oop. Definitely a blunt instrument here. So they think, since this is the last one marked on the map, after we clear this one out, I'm going to go out and enjoy the weather before we get hit with another storm. But yeah, I figured this one would be pretty short, so I just wanted something easy of access and be able to get in and get out of really quick, and turns out I still had to reteach myself all the controls. But yeah, figured that was a pretty simple task and could get through this pretty quick. Still have the other side of the mine here real fast. So I'm like, that's clearly meant to be a conveyor belt, but is that what happens to zonite when it like depletes, or because it just looks like concrete? I can't imagine making a conveyor belt out of concrete. Where's RoboGal? Nope. That's better. Okay, we'll use you too. I do miss just like the directional buttons of the original Chosen from Breath of the Wild. Just having them all float around you, you're going to select anything but what you want. Another thing I was hoping maybe the non-existent DLC would have another rough edge that the DLC would have rounded off. Well, like it was picking up something in this direction. We thought we'd hit that real fast, but maybe not. Oh, that's not good. Well, we were looking for more bomb flowers. Alright, and I'm guessing there's more in the enemy base, but that'll have to be for me to take care of later. Alright, let's get... all saved. Thanks for coming by. Talk to you next time.